A new report from the Texas Tribune reveals what some are calling, quote, unprecedented influence by Governor Greg Abbott over the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, also known to us as ERCOT, specifically regarding its communications and leadership. So Mitchell Furman from the Tribune joining us now. Mitchell, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, a lot to unpack here. Let's start with this. ERCOT currently has an interim president and CEO. So you spoke to several sources in the power industry. What, though, did they tell you about the governor's involvement in the hiring process to find a permanent CEO for ERCOT, and why are they calling this unprecedented?
Yeah, sources familiar with the process say that the governor essentially has final say in who is the next CEO of ERCOT, and that is fairly unusual. But especially in ERCOT, it's definitely unusual and unprecedented. And that the subtext that people in the energy industry are concerned about is that the governor may be making okaying or vetoing candidates based on with his reelection campaign in mind, and not necessarily the exact needs at ERCOT.
And Mitchell, you were told the governor has already vetoed one CEO candidate?
Yeah, at least one that I can confirm.
And who was that?
Yeah, Steve Burbrick. He's a Texan. He was a former vice president of TXU Energy, which is up based in North Texas, and he later became the CEO of California's power grid operator, basically the equivalent of ERCOT over there. And his one source in the industry who was briefed about the rejection said that the only explanation that they got as for Burbrick's rejection was because of his ties to California. And the source said that obviously California has had its share of power problems, but that you couldn't argue with Burbrick's qualifications.
And did they give you any insights on the normal protocols for the hiring process within ERCOT?
Typically, there is a search firm that is contracted. However, in the past, typically internal candidates are considered and prioritized, as we've seen repeatedly. But this time, obviously, there was a catastrophic event, unlike anything else that we've seen here, and that they wanted to cast a wider net. And it's usually run the board of directors of ERCOT is typically the one kind of dealing with this in conjunction with the contracted firm. But the board of directors of ERCOT changed after the winter storm. State lawmakers in Texas in the regular legislative session last year made it so the board of ERCOT is selected by political appointees. The governor, lieutenant governor, and speaker of the House each select someone, and that group of three people selects the ERCOT board. So the board has way more political influence than it's ever had.
Okay, so now, like I said, there's a lot to unpack here. Communications, what did your sources say about the governor's office, quote, dictating ERCOT's public communications, their messaging?
Yeah, as we've seen over the last 18 months, ERCOT's public statements have dwindled significantly, both in their releases issued to the press and their messaging on social media. One source, a former senior ERCOT employee, told me that the governor, whenever ERCOT is putting out public statements, that needs to be, run up the chain. And this former senior ERCOT employee said that the governor is not just reviewing and editing ERCOT's public statements. The governor is telling ERCOT whether or not they can release grid information at all. And it's important to note that it's not that the governor's office was never in the loop on these sorts of things in the past. It's that the governor's office was more so given a heads up and, just kind of alerted about public comments that ERCOT was to be making, and not all of them, just some of them. But since the deadly winter disaster last year, the governor has taken a particular interest in the everything really that's going on with the grid, and he has he has he has made sure that what ERCOT puts out is of his liking.
And then as we wrap up, last question, how did ERCOT respond to the claims and how did the governor respond to the claims? I know that you all sent an extensive list of questions. So how did the governor as well as ERCOT respond?
Yeah, the governor, like you said, it was a detailed list of questions, and the governor's office responded that that the state has taken major steps to improve the grid. The governor's office did not directly address the questions that I sent over, but they tried to assure the public that steps have been taken, which is true. The state legislature last year passed several pieces of legislation in hopes of addressing issues with the grid. But as far as the legislature did not pass anything that gives the governor authority to kind of dictate ERCOT's public messaging as well as his involvement in the CEO search. And one state senator, Nathan Johnson, a Democrat from North Texas, he put out a statement today that responding to the story, that this was not what lawmakers had in mind last session.
All right, Mitchell Furman from the Texas Tribune, thank you so much for the insight and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.